right, everybody, welcome back to Chapter 3 of Blades and Blasters Coriolis campaign. We're getting a little bit of a late start tonight, so we might have to split this session into two parts, but let's see what our team gets up to. With us tonight is Raz playing Hakam Ruhail. For the first time on this campaign, Walter Bleck playing Nasir. We have Slip playing Thoraya. We have Sim playing Ali Tarek. And last but not least, we have Pasha Khan, played by the one and only Zypher. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Let's see. We should have sight on Nasir Amit. Be good?
Confirmed? Yes.
Yeah, it's black, but
We're
we
good.
see him.
It's black, but you see him. Is that true?
My ship
Yes.
looks very pretty.
Okay.
I see a ship. Ship, two people, and Nasir.
I don't have sight.
Yeah, me neither. Just Nasir and Black.
Yeah, let me give you the account details so you can send the GM some money.
All right.
Hey guys, I think I fixed my Discord.
Did you really?
I think I don't know. I haven't.
This is how you lose XP.
Good news.
I have no clue why you can't see what he sees.
Let me describe it for
Nobody
you.
can see the ship. Is that what you're telling me?
I can
can
see
see
it
it.
just fine.
I see the ship. I see Nasser.
I see the ship.
Nerly,
I think it's
see
just Slip.
There's no reason why. Everybody has access to this here.
Huh.
I'm with a beautiful woman and what appears to be an old hag.
This is true.
All right, let me.
Did you get a sugar mama? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I just refreshed my browser again. Yeah, all I see is Nasir. But that's fine. We can keep moving forward. I'll just use Walter.
It's going to be that
Peck's
way all
map.
game if we don't fix it.
Oh no, then we have to.
Yeah. Try something else now.
Yeah, I don't even know. Oh, I'm trying to start the tar cloud to talk over Sirenscape. Let me turn this down. There we go.
Yeah, it went away and it came back. I have good vision.
I have good vision.
But Slip and X don't.
No, I
For
opened
some-
the image from Discord and put it on the recording.
There you go.
What is going on with that? Can you try getting sight on another character?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. It defaults to global sight because I don't like to do.
yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah, all of them have vision. All my tokens have vision.
I don't.
Let me
Okay.
let me
I don't.
see
I,
if-
maybe is my token on the screen?
No, but it shouldn't
No.
matter.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing interesting
yeah,
is
no,
I can
it's-
click Nasir, by the way. I'm not sure that Nick.
Yeah,
still
I mean,
counts.
that's I usually have that as a case.
Yeah, but even me, Slip, even I don't see anything. All I see is Black.
Yeah. I'm pulling up the Discord image. We can just work with it.
Now I
And
see.
What about now? I gave you sight on somebody else, Narali.
Yeah, but I
I
only
see
see Nerali's
her.
token.
You see the token, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? What's going on?
Ridiculous. Crap tonight.
We got gremlins tonight.
Daylight
doing?
mode on. Dynamic lighting on.
You can see your pings.
Yeah, that's where the ship is.
I'm just going to turn all modes on.
Nuke it.
Oh,
now
I
we-
see it.
I was just going to say, while he's fixing this, let me tell you a story about why you don't argue with your significant other in a car during a high-speed chase.
Because you crash.
All right,
then you-
so you guys can see everything now.
Yep.
Yes.
Man,
Including your nice drawing line. great
Thank you. I
job.
was just painting
You-
everything for you now.
what do you see? Oh, nice.
I was going to just repaint the whole thing.
This character. This game just keeps getting worse all the time.
My crap, Pasama, I'll fix it.
Like anybody that's excited to watch this Coriolis campaign for Blades and Blasters, it was just the first session was just bombed by a bunch of handouts. Second session was probably fine, and this one, first 5 minutes, people acting like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's not like we have been doing this for 6 years.
The scene opens with Lila scolding Norelli on why she's drawing a giant dick on the spaceship.
That's graffiti. All right. So the scene opens. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So as this scene opens, there is a passenger shuttle heading through an asteroid field, and this asteroid field isn't too terribly thick. And kind of out the front of the viewport of the shuttle, you see a giant asteroid, something almost like resembling the size of Earth's moon, slowly growing larger and larger and larger. Perhaps a week ago or so, Nasir Amit, and you'll have to tell me how to correctly pronounce your name, but he received a tight beam from one Ali, who was residing at a place called Tengwar Station on asteroid Zeta 5G out in the belt. And the reason he was summoned to the belt has to do with Ali needs a little bit of help for an operation, as Ali has found himself as part of the crew of a very special ship named the Crimson Wish. Nasir, as you're on board this shuttle, you are with several other passengers, probably a couple dozen passengers on there. Most of them seem to be poor miners. They're dressed in kind of ragged clothing. They span all sorts of ages. To your left is an attractive woman with some goggles around her neck. She seems to be minding her own business, but every once in a while takes out a tabula and what looks to be a pen or stylus, taps a few commands into it, and dictates something into a piece of microcomputing that she has on her left wrist. And even if you look her way, she doesn't really make eye contact with you. On the other hand, Lila Darmak, you know all about Lila. Lila is a miner's wife on Zeta 5G, and she's headed back after she's taken a trip into Mira. She went to Icon City to pray to the icons and make a pilgrimage, and she just wants to tell you all about it, Nasir. And I'll let you open the scene and take it away.
Nasir had his ups and downs since leaving his homeworld of Algol. He had been part of a great clan in the Northern Highlands, and he had been forbade from interfering in outsiders' problems, most notably the rebels against this consortium. But he came across an injured one on a patrol one time, and despite the clan elders forbidding to do so, he joined the rebels in stopping the consortium's advances in his territory. As a result, though successful, he was banned from his clan. One of the individuals that he had made acquaintances with along the way was one Ali, and Ali was more than happy to take him into the stars and introduce him into the life of mercenary work, something he was well suited for. They had gone their separate ways for a time, but while he was on a layover, he got a tight beam communication that Ali was looking for some help, and lo on Burr, Nasir Amit was more than welcome, or more than happy to take on the job. And as he traveled, while most of his time was spent staring at Nirali, he had the unfortunate luck of listening to Lila and politely smiling and nodding along as she talked about her miniature pilgrimage.
And as you do your best not to speak with Lila, she continues to chew your ear a little bit. The ship flies past a few asteroids. You see them out the viewport to your left. You hope to hell that the navigational computer on this ship is up to snuff, as every once in a while one of these giant asteroids fly by. What about yourself? What'd you say your name was? Have you been to the great Icon City? There's so much to see, and the majesty, The majesty of the icons. It's palpable. Oh, my heart is full. My cup is overflowing. I can go back down to my dear husband and be the wife I was always meant to be.
Yes, that sounds very, very fascinating. That was a lovely story you told me. Again, I am Nasir. I am heading out here not for mining, but for a different type of work.
Oh? A different type of work? I didn't think there was much other work on that asteroid. Of course, there's Tengwar Station. I hope you're not going there. The place is full of all sorts of rabble.
Oh, it is where I'm going, but rabble does not concern me. I know how to carry myself well.
She looks over you. What do you look like exactly?
He is wearing basically some coveralls with a caftan kind of over it, more of a drab grayish field gray, and similar to his avatar, very stoic, not smiling much, but a left scar running up the side of his face, or up the side of his left.
Lila looks into your eyes and looks down, and indeed you do look like a capable sort. And so she takes something out of her satchel, something that looks almost like a papyrus or a paper book, casts her eyes downwards and starts to read it. On the other hand, Narali kind of elbows you. Nasir it is, huh? You are headed to Tengwar Station? Same here.
And what do you plan on doing there?
Old friend of mine said there might be some business. His name's Tam Murdrick. Owns the cantina there right outside the hangar. Can't miss it when you go in. You can smell the hookah smoke from a mile away.
And what kind of place is that? Dangerous? Cards? Fights? Drinking?
Yeah, that's right. All the good stuff this year.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Well, maybe we can get a drink there. Play a game of cards.
I only gamble with my life.
That a fact.
Indeed.
Well, if you ever want to catch up and relax a little bit, kick up your feet, I'm going to be there. I'm going to help Tam with a couple of security details for his station. Sounds like they've been getting a shakedown by some local gang. Bilroy boys, they're called. Fucking ridiculous name.
They sound like simpletons. It shouldn't be very difficult for you to deal with them.
Yeah, that's the way it always is out here in the belt. Somebody always trying to make a name for themselves. Rising to the top. Think they have to push people around to make a name, you know?
Ah, yes. The higher they climb, the farther they fall, though.
Is that right?
Indeed.
Suddenly you hear something explode and you see laser fire right outside the viewport. And what happens is that you feel the inertia of the ship just kind of come to a stop, and you lose your stomach a little bit, if that makes any sense. And some red emergency lighting comes on overhead and around your feet, the sheer. And the captain of the ship kind of comes on and he says, everybody please just stay in your seats. We're being approached by a vessel here right outside the asteroid, our destination. I'm not sure what exactly is going on here, but I'll take care of it and get back to you with an update when I know more details.
Nasir kind of gives the two of the ladies a troubling look, and how close would he be to some of his gear, like his exosuit, for example?
Oh, like overhead compartments.
Okay.
Be careful. They might shift during flight.
He opens it, knowing he's been on enough journeys to be aware of anything falling out, and quickly tries to don his exosuit, knowing that this smells like trouble.
Oh dear, Nasir! Nasir, didn't you hear the captain? He said to stay in your seat. You're going to get into trouble.
Oh, it is better to have this exosuit and need it than need it and not have it. What trouble is there putting on something like this? None, I think, yes?
I don't know. It depends what type of trouble we're in.
No trouble. I'm sure it's all great misunderstanding.
Narali also just blatantly ignoring what's going on, also just like undoes her safety harness, and she rises and she starts to get out what looks to be a duffel bag in her overhead compartment too. Says, "Lila, is that your name?" "Yes, yes, my dear." "You're going to stay put. Whatever's going on, I am a little nervous about it." "Okay." And she unzips her duffel bag when you hear like this sound of an airlock opening, and then the laser shot. And you hear a faint cry, and from up here, like from the front of the cabin, that airlock opens, and you see the captain just slump over, and blood start to pool into where you are. And from the front cabin, from the bridge of the starship, start to pile in 4 rough-looking dudes. One of them, who seems to be kind of in charge, he kind of comes forward and says, Hey! Not so fast! Didn't you hear what the captain said? You there, pretty lady, and you there, sir. Have a seat. No reason to be getting in your duffels." They all have Vulcan carbines kind of at the ready and ready to go.
Nasser, with his exosuit on, much like Neuralia, knew there was something up, and if he doesn't have it already, he will have his carbon out as well. Yeah. He knows a boarding when he sees one, so he's basically going to pull it out and take cover behind like an inner structure or something.
There's the leader kind of comes forward while these other 3 guys are kind of going through and shaking down these miners. It's almost like Nasir, they have the mannerisms like they're not that worried. They've been through this before, if that makes any sense. And Colt kind of comes up to you. Hey now, put down the gun. Nobody's gonna get hurt here. Listen here. We don't ask for much. Just a little more than you can spare. You know, jewelry, ornamentation, bear. If it's valuable, we want it. But we aren't monsters. We're not looking to shed blood. If you need something to survive, you're welcome to keep it. Like, keep that weapon there, keep your exosuit. But Dom Bilroy keeps his part of the belt safe, and he deserves just compensation. And since none is forthcoming, sometimes he has to use a little force. A little elbow grease, if you know what I mean. So, if you have a few extra burr, we'll take that. You look like a capable sort. What's your name?
Nasser gives him kind of a very angry look before mumbling, "I am Nasir."
Nasir. Alright there, Nasir. Like I said, little bit of alms to the poor. A little bit of alms to the protectorate of this here belt. And Nerali kind of looks to you, Nasir. She doesn't have a weapon out. And her exosuit's kind of half out of her duffel. And she just looks to you kind of to take direction. It seems that you're the only one kind of here that is capable of handling himself in sort of combat. But again, also it seems like the passengers have been through this before.
Unfortunately, I'm a poor man, which is why I'm coming out to the belt. I have at most 100 beer.
If you have 100 beer, let's see here. What do you think, boys? And Mastiff kind of comes forward, and he is has like a sack full of transactors. There's like credit chips in this universe, and he has a few other instruments, jewelry, and some fine clothing that he's taken from the passengers. It's probably for these poor miners some of their most valuable things they could ever give up. And Mastiff says, "Well, just like Dom says, don't take everything, just a little more than they can afford." Okay, 80% then. Give me 80 beer, we'll call it a day. Nasir, like I said, I don't want anybody to get killed, and if you pull out that Vulcan carbine, I'm sure some of these fine miners will lose their life.
Nasir kind of weighs his options and knows when he's outmatched, and even if Nerali was semi-competent, there'd be a low likelihood of survival and with many casualties. So with a suck of his teeth, he pulls out 80 beer and forks it over to Mastiff.
Yeah, Mastiff takes the transponder chip. He thinks about putting it in like the satchel where he's collecting everything for his boss man, but then he takes it and just puts it in his breast pocket instead. And he kind of looks at you. His teeth are rotten. He has piercings through his lower lip and facial tattoos, and he just says, "We'll just consider that hazard pay, Nasir."
Yes, whatever you say, as he kind of looks over the four of them, and even though they all look surprisingly similar, he commits their faces to memory.
So I have this beer manager thing I'm going to pop up, and I'm just going to remove 80 from you.
Oh, I already did, but if you want to, go ahead.
Cool, got it. I can do that for you guys. It just helps with bookkeeping. Cool. All right. So, roleplay what it looks like as, you know, they clean up. Nobody's making eye contact with these assholes. And they do kind of what they're said. He says, "All right, we'll be back next month. It's nice seeing you all again. I'm sorry about you, Captain. But, you know, they'll put someone else in his shoes. They always do." And they go outside the airlock, and you hear it close, and then you hear a ship that has docked with the shuttle. Just you hear the airlock kind of disengage, and you see out the port another shuttle flying away from you, like away from the asteroid, and then very faintly you see what looks to be a larger ship, probably like a class 3 ship that it's going to rendezvous with, and they are gone. I'll let you roleplay.
Nasir is fuming after they leave at the indignity of having to give up some money to those low-level thugs, and looks to both Nerali and Leela. And does this happen all of the time out at Tengwar at Zeta?
And Nerali looks at you. "Don't ask me. I haven't been here in a couple years. Nothing like this has ever happened before. I mean, not to me. Like I said, there's young startups that try to do this sort of thing, but hijacking passenger shuttles heading down to the asteroid? Those motherfuckers are ugly, but I gotta say, they got some big balls."
They won't have much balls when I'm done cutting them off their fucking bodies. He kind of paces back and forth. I've committed each one to memory. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get each and every one of them tenfold.
Yeah, you're the angry type, aren't you? What'd you say your name again was?
Nasir.
Alright, Nasir. Well, I'll look you up once we get down to Tengwar. If you ever need a data spider. My name's Nerali Shen.
I will remember that, Nerali. Thank you.
Roger that. And you look down at her hands. They were shaking before, but they're a little more calm now. And you hear zzz, as she kind of zips her exosuit back up into her duffel bag, and the co-pilot kind of comes over the intercom. "I greatly apologize for that inconvenience. The Bilroys are a hazard, a pest that must be dealt with. I think I speak for the crew. We all look forward to the time when they're exterminated."
Nasir kind of sits down and rests his head on the bulkhead and just kind of closes his eyes and fantasizes about the revenge he'll take on these individuals at some point. Sooner, hopefully, than later.
And as that scene closes, you see that ship kind of... the asteroid doesn't have an atmosphere, but the camera kind of pans out as that shuttle's heading down towards Zeta 5G, and it slows velocity, slower, and then starts to fire its exhaust jets, and kind of moves very slowly into a hangar on the asteroid. In the meantime, please tell me you guys can all see this.
Yep, I see a lot.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
Looking good.
So, I'll let you guys just take it away. Tell me what's happened in the intervening week after you fought off the Bilroy excursion into Tengwar Station. What have you all been up to? One thing I will say is that Para Cantera has kind of ranged far and wide off the station, and she found a miner family several kilometers away through subterranean railway, and she went to stay with them for a few weeks at the behest of all you folks. You don't know why. You don't know why the Foundation was after her, but you think wisely that it's best that she kind of lay low at least for a month or two, so she's not there anymore. Go for it.
Real quick, Bo, can you restart the whatever music you've got? I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, I was just hearing sort of like people, like a market scene. Yep, there it is again. It's like atmospheric station sounds.
Yep.
Interesting.
Can you hear it?
I can see that it's playing on Sirenscape, but I'm not getting any through my headset.
And now there's some synthesizer.
Yeah,
like,
I just brought
Blade
it up.
Runner-esque.
I just brought it up in the mix. I probably just buried the mix, and I can bring up the master volume if you want.
Would you please?
Does that work for you?
No, I'm not hearing it, but I'll mess with it in the background. See if I can get it. It must be
Yeah, I have it at
something on my end.
30% and it's very audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone else can jump in what they've been doing.
Pasha has been, in the time in the past week, he has been in contact with everybody on the station. He's trying to find out more about the Bilroys and this Dom Bilroy in particular. He has talked to Tam, Leisha, Edward, trying to get as much human intel as possible about the base they're in, the kind of, the number of people they've seen, if they've been seen on other ships or shuttles. He's, at some point when everybody's together, he would propose the next set of actions. He would also talk to Hakam and, ask him to run the ship through an entire diagnostic because he kind of feels that they have a long fight ahead of them.
Yeah, Ali would be going around trying to get eyes and ears because he knows they're going to be going after the asteroid and be away. So he kind of wants people to communicate with him what's going on here when they're gone. Like if the Bilroy gang shows up here or whatever else have you, so we can keep track of movements.
Hakam spent the week making the engine room sort of his home away from home. So as you enter the engine room now, if you imagine the floor plan that we have, it's very it's set in a like almost oriental colors of reds and oranges with lots of hanging cloths and drapes sort of hanging off the ceiling. And even as you enter, you have to walk through one of those like 70s, 80s, like in the Matrix when he goes to the Oracle, right? Like these clinking beads that you have to walk through just to get into the engine room. And there's a sense of incense, or smell of incense, and on one side you'll notice he made a little shrine to the messenger, who's related to science, data, gen, and technology. And then on the other side there's like a bit of a sitting area just on the ground with cushions where he might just nap. And on the wall there are pictures of people you've never seen, but you assume are his family back on Coriolis Station. And then it took him about the week, but at the end of that week, he calls Ali and Pasha and Ibrahim together to the, I guess, mess hall cantina on the ship, and presents them with gifts that he's purchased for them. He presents to Ibrahim a really like fancy, nice-looking real leather jacket. I think it was described as a James Dean leather jacket, so that's the type of jacket he bought Ibrahim. You can look really cool in it. And then for Pasha, he presents him like a box that includes a rather large hookah that looks quite expensive and has a ton of attachments, so you can... and he essentially tells you that he bought that for you to be able to host parties and gatherings and to woo people with your charms when they're on board. And he hopes that maybe he'll be invited from time to time as well. And then for Ali, he presents him sort of it looks like a thin wooden box, and as Ali opens it, it becomes clear that it is custom engraved weapon grips for his weapon that have very what do you call it, expensive sort of looking polish and engraving of the icon, the judge icon, who is the icon that governs all shooting. And so he offers that he could modify your weapon with these if you actually like the gift.
Yeah, Ali would definitely let you modify it with it. That'd be he's not used to having people give him exquisite gifts, so he's more than happy as peach pie.
Yeah, it's some special... He explains to you, like, this wood is specially sourced from that planet far away, and it's extremely hard and chip-resistant, and there's an extra polish on top that he asked for that makes blood very easy to wipe off. And then he installs that on your weapon and sort of gives your weapon a once-over, and looks real nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he sort of hands it back to you, sort of bows his head and says, may your aim always be true.
Yeah, he'd have a big smile on his face, and he probably doesn't do that often.
Yeah.
Thank you profusely for it,
Yeah.
Quick question, Bo. Is Thuraya Darkskull also in the ship at this point?
I moved her token. That's all up to you.
Yep. Yeah, I think Thuraya is. She had been gone for a bit, sending the results of her survey over to Assad Taibi and collecting her payment. And now she's kind of secluded herself in one of the small ship's quarters.
There's no such thing. We actually took coffins. It's like in a submarine where you literally don't have actual cabins that have doors.
Oh, really?
It's just coffins. Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Well, I would say that she finds maybe
There's
in the
definitely space.
engineering
Yeah.
room or
Yeah,
somewhere. She's some might see her as standoffish. Other people might just think she's shy, but she doesn't really feel like she knows most of the crew yet. But she has been chatting it up with Ashanti, a bit intrigued by this unique sassy AI. Right now she's looking at her treasure, the items she has recently purchased from the market here, and is feeling very satisfied and wealthy, as this is the most money and the most expensive things she's ever been able to acquire.
Yeah, Hakan would have welcomed you to his ship. Very friendly type. Looks very trustworthy. Seems to be treating everyone very nicely. Gives you a tour of the ship. And would seek you out from time to time to make sure you're okay, you're not hungry, thirsty, if you need anything, just to get to know you and ask you a few questions that aren't too probing, but are more, the standard questions you get. It's like, oh, where did you grow up, do you have family, what are you looking to do, that kind of stuff.
She gives pretty brief, not very She doesn't seem to... She seems private, and at the same time, she almost seems suspicious, like, why is this guy being so nice? But, yeah, she might be starting to warm up after a couple of days. She's definitely curious as to how the ship got this Ashanti personality in its ship's computers.
I don't think we have decided that as a group, so if you guys don't mind, he would just say it was on it as he got it. It was part of the ship.
Ah, it is the wheel of the Faceless One, then.
Probably. He'll say.
She nods and sort of pats the wall of the computer.
Thank you for your gentle caress, Thoraya. Can I expect more of those now that you're so rich?
She grins and she says, I am perhaps not rich yet, but I am certainly interested in learning more about you, Ashanti.
I have examined your mannerisms through several thousand sensors, and you do certainly act like you feel you are rich for the first time. I do recommend that you treat Hakam with the utmost respect. He is my caretaker.
Ah, in that case. And she just kind of gives a bow to Hakam. Any friend of Ashanti should be a friend of mine, I think.
Oh. You are
He smiles.
most wise, not unlike Hakam. And like you hear her whisper and say, I have to speak well of him, lest he fail to repair me.
Yes, all men are like this, she says. Just kind of in a whisper. That I'm sure Hakam can hear.
Pasha, upon receiving the gift from Hakam, he just, I'm assuming this would be done in the mess hall.
Yeah.
He just sits there, looks quizzically at Hakam, and he looks quizzically at the hookah, and for a bit it becomes a little uncomfortable, to a point where Pasha just keeps staring at Hakam. And I would say at this point, Hakam, to a point where you're not quite sure if you're broken, Pasha, but he just sits there looking at the gift, looking at you. I would say for time long enough where he would actually walk away because he started feeling uncomfortable. And you leave Pasha in that room, and Pasha seems to be just lost in thought. Eventually he would get on the ship's intercom and, my friends, if you would join me in the mess hall, there is something I would like to propose.
On my way. From far back in the ship, you hear the clinking of him walking through the screen door, sort of. I don't know what that's called, but I'm sure you know what I mean, right? Like this hanging
door.
Yeah, beads.
Right?
Yes,
No,
they are
there's
beads.
a name for it. There's a name for it.
Yes, I mean, I grew up in houses which had those all the time, and they would get stuck all.
Yeah.
Bead curtains, I think they would call them.
Yeah. Yep, Hakam arrives promptly.
Yeah, Ali would make his way there.
So you're
I
kind
think
of
they're out.
sending them up to like the bridge area or whatever.
Yeah, like the main mess hall area.
Okay. Got it.
Once everybody gets there, Pasha would look to Hakam. I'm sorry if I did not convey my thanks and my gratitude for this gift.
Oh,
It is
none were required, my friend.
None were required, yes, you may say that, but it is always protocol to wish well those who give to others without seeking anything for themselves. And If I may have seemed reserved, it is not because I did not like the gift. It was because, and Ibrahim would attest to this, where I am from, though there are many riches, you only get them if you take them.
I understand.
This is a place of opulence beyond anyone's wildest imagination, and yet everybody around is always scheming, always conniving, manipulating to get what they want. Even a gift from a friend is looked with suspicion. Even a well-wish from a mate is looked for a meaning beyond the meaning. I've called you all here because for the first time in a long time, I have met people who are driven by a desire more than the acquisition of just wealth. Mind you, the acquisition of wealth does help us, but it doesn't seem to drive all of you who are present here. And that's why I've come to a decision. This ship is capable only if all of you agree to stay with her. And I think we can achieve far beyond what each of us would have received if we tried it alone in this darkness, in this dark vastness of space. I think this entire sector of space is ripe for the picking if a few enterprising individuals just came together and worked through all the obstacles in front of them. What do you think?
That's good to me, Captain, he says with a smile.
Turaya, Ali?
You know, I kind of smirk. I have nothing better going on, so I guess you can have my gun.
Thuraya is kind of looking from person to person, looking a little confused. I am here because, yes, I think there is opportunity, but why is it that you want me here?
You are decisive. Your action in that gunfight, without hesitation, without misgivings, you attacked and killed that was attacking us. That kind of single-mindedness will help us in what we are going to seek.
She nods slowly and says, I like the words you are saying, but loyalty is earned, and so I think we shall see.
Loyalty? No, I'm not talking about loyalty. You don't need to be loyal to any of us. You just need to agree with the vision that I'm proposing. And then he kind of like stands up and walks around and kind of like moves his hand trying to show the entire ship. This ship is far more capable and thanks much to Hakam than what she appears. if, say for example, we take out and nullify the Bilroy gang, we earn the eternal gratitude of the people who live in this sector. If we find the base that the Bilroys are based out of and we take over, we now have a base to operate from. If there are more people like the Bilroy out there, if we continue to acquire ships that they use, acquire it, clean it maybe, use it for ourselves or resell it, we stand to make a hefty profit. You don't have to be loyal to me, any of you, but you can be loyal to the fact that I'm going to look for profit in every encounter that I come across. How come? You need to pay Assad back for the rest of the ship. Ali, I know where you're from. You could always do with more beer. Turaya, if you are out here on this god-forsaken, icon-forsaken shithole of a asteroid, which means that you are looking for money as well.
I am looking for money, yes, but you want to kill Bilroys? Well, why did you not say so in the first place?
I would like to kill Bilroys and all the other Bilroys we're going to come across. I would like to acquire more ships, sell more ships, find treasures that is hidden in asteroids like this and further beyond the stars. I want to be exactly where Assad is today and beyond. Because the only way to make more money is if you venture further and faster than anybody else around you. Dare and risk. If we play it safe, we are not going to get far, and pretty soon the creditors are going to be at our doors trying to take the very clothes we wear.
You had me at Kill Bilroys.
That is why I like you, Turaya. Single-minded, focused. Very well then. Hakam, what lies ahead of us is going to tax this ship to its very nuts and bolts.
I understand. I spent 2,000 beer on a really nice workshop that will help us with the repairs, and I bought a very expensive set of tools as well. So we should be good on that.
Very well. Ali, you're in charge of the guns. If you can find some more friends who can help us with this endeavor, they will be gladly paid, just like you.
I got a few that come to mind. One I already sent a message to when we started talking about going to the Bilroy's place of living. But again, we make a living off of profit, and to me that's no different what the ship is going to end up doing, so I think we all get along fine.
Wonderful. I already have spoken to the Dark Skull and he will join us in our venture. I must say he is keen on keeping me alive long enough for his own purposes, and kind of Pasha gives a cunning smile when he says that.
Who is the Darks?
Hakam, and then Pasha would point to this gentleman who seems to have no hair on his head, and he would have come on board along with Turaya.
Oh, okay, then we might have to retcon that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he's already a passenger.
Yeah, he's agreed to join us through some dealings Pasha made. That's what he looks like.
Tet.
Ted, okay. And I assume is he incidentally also a stealth range combat observation character?
I believe so, yes. And so Pasha will look at Hakam. Dark Skull, all I can say is sometimes the bets you place do come back to bite you. And Dark Skull is my reckoning. But he's going to be by us. And he will protect his investment. And when Pasha says investment, he kind of like raises his hands and kind of points it back to him, in a very douchey manner.
Is this news to Hakam?
I wouldn't say so. The moment Turaya came, this would be all at the end of the last session. So whenever Bo puts up the stuff from the last session, all of that will become clear.
Because Hakam has sort of given Pasha his, how would you call it, like invited him to his home. And so if Pasha then seems troubled by having like a creditor or someone who wants Pasha ill, like that seems odd to Hakam. Like he would probably ask if we should, if this is a ploy to throw him out the airlock or like what's going on.
So yeah, we can definitely role play that. So when Hakam brings up those concerns, Pasha would, privately, Pasha would say, I understand your concerns, Hakam, but it is the nature of the business.
I'm moving you to the
With
stairwell.
a mouth like man. Huh?
I'm moving you to the stairwell.
Yeah.
Be a private conversation here.
Private conversation. And he says to Hakam, with a mouth like mine, I make promises, and sometimes promises are hard to keep because the icons do not will it. The Dark Skull is a consequence of one of the promises I couldn't keep. He was here to collect, and I convinced him otherwise. I made the same offer I made to everybody at the table. Join me, stay on this ship. Let's reach out into the stars and take what we find. Within reason, of course. I will not ask anyone to commit something that they are not comfortable doing. But if we go after people like the Bilroys, I think we're doing people a service.
So you owe him money? That's it?
I owe his employers money, and I convinced him that instead of paying his employers, I would pay him handsomely, and thus he wouldn't need his employers anymore.
Oh, okay.
There may come a time where I may not be able to keep that promise, but when that time comes, we shall see where things stand. But for now, he's with us. He'll actually protect me, which is great for the ship, and for you, and for everybody else, including myself. I just need to make sure that he gets paid time to time, and whatever treasures we find, he has first dibs from my share, but it's all right. I believe that our future is so bright that what I owe him is just a measly portion of what we are going to get.
Yeah, in times, perhaps an enemy can turn a friend.
Exactly. See, Hakam, my goal is to make everybody on the ship free. And freedom means more money than they can actually dream about. More money than they can know what to do with. Only then they are answerable to no one.
Sounds good to me.
And
then I guess we're, the retcon is over.
Yep.
Yeah.
But as when Ali was mentioning that he kind of sent for help, you guys see a ship. You see a ship kind of enter the hangar, just like a passenger shuttle, and out from like where the mess hall is or whatever. You see this shuttle start to disembark, and the first 12 people look extremely forlorn and frightened, like miners. And then like there's two other guys that look like they are in ship maintenance crew uniforms, and they're bringing out somebody in a body bag for some reason. They quickly depart, and then the last three people off the ship are Nasir, Nurali, and Lila. Nasir and Norali are in front. They come down the ramp, and Lila's right behind them with like a faded green rucksack on her back, and she's like talking to them, talking. And Nasir and Norali just seems to be trying to move away from her at great speed. And I'll let you take it away.
There we go. As Nasir is walking off the ship, you can see this pained look on his face, even after the encounter with the Bilroy brigands. Lila is grating on his nerves, and he finally just puts a hand on her shoulder and goes, "It has been wonderful talking to you, Lila, but now I must go. May the icons smile upon you and your husband and all your fortunes." And then kind of not giving her a chance to continue, just whatever way she's going, he makes sure to be going in a different way as quickly as possible, motioning for Norali to kind of come with him. As they separate, he asks her, "Tell me, what is this cantina you speak of? Perhaps my friend is there."
Well, like I said, just off the hangar. You're not going to miss it. And she walks through this hangar, and there's like some space scooters that are undergoing maintenance. There are like 2 or 3 shuttles, not unlike your own. 2 of them are stationary, and there is one ship there that looks like pretty sweet. It's a Class 3 ship. That's Crimson Wish. You wouldn't know that in character. But Norali kind of points kind of up in this direction and says, yeah, the cantina's up there. I'm sure that Tam will give us a warm welcome. He serves some sort of swill to most customers, but I know where he keeps the good stuff.
Well, hopefully his swill is not too expensive, as I have very few beer left. And he kind of looks at the shuttles and the Crimson Wish and sighs and goes, I hope my friend did not come on any of these pieces of shit. Now let us go.
Yeah, let's make haste. I'm getting damn thirsty. And yeah, Tam, let's say that he owes me a drink or 2. First round's on me this year. He showed some real balls back there on the shuttle.
Oh, I thank you. Hopefully they get to what's coming to them sooner than later.
And they walk across like the deck, heading up the ramp. And Pasha, Ali, Thuraya, Hakam, you guys can see Norali and Nasir kind of walking up into the cantina. And I know at least 2 of you have had dealings with this gentleman in the past.
Yeah, Thuraya kind of does a double take and squints. Oh la ma. Even Arkab. She starts swearing and debarring. And she points. What is that Imar doing here?
Nasir, as he walks in, he kind of notices Ali and sees Thuraya, and he kind of does a double take.
Still, though, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were in there. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't see shit.
I think Ali's the one that bid him to come, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I think Ali, you missed Bo's cue. So what do you do when you see Nasir walking? You
He
just
was
got
getting
back.
a beer, I believe, in real life.
I was getting some H2O.
Yeah, Thuraya sees Nasir too, and she starts cursing and saying, what's that? And she says something in Debarn that sounds rude doing here.
Ali kind of sees Nassar and it doesn't put it together. That's who Thuraya was talking about. There's my friend now.
Friend. Hello.
Is anyone else part of the group? Like, are we all outside?
Sim disappeared.
I don't know.
Sam, are you there?
I felt the awkward need to try and fill the silence.
Man, what type of technical problems?
Let me try and place him. I walk over and shoot him.
Yes, Thariah supports this plan.
And then I take their stuff. I don't smile.
So Thariah says, like, what's that POS doing here? I don't know, did he just drop? Did his audio drop?
No, he's still there.
Can you hear us, Sim? Because we can't hear the word you're saying.
Yeah, his microphone just ditched.
You guys couldn't hear me?
No.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
No, we couldn't
There we
at
go.
Yeah,
He's
but
like,
anything before
I just
that
did a
you
5
couldn't
minute soliloquy.
I did. I was like,
Epic monologue.
He's like, I made myself cry. It was so good.
well, now I'm not doing that again. I'll just cut to. So Ali would as he doesn't hear he hears Thariah cuss and doesn't put together that's just cussing at me. Ali would raise his hand up as he trying to get his attention. Nasir, over here.
And let's just say you're going down the ramp of the ship, and you guys are like all just gathering right at the base of this thing. Okay.
Yeah. I think Thariah is leaning against the ship, looking, scowling darkly in their direction.
As Nasir hears his name called, he looks over at one of the pieces of shit and sees that his friend Ali is standing at the base of a ramp along with a hodgepodge group of individuals, and he kind of glances over at Thariah, and then his eyes dart back to her as he realizes it, and kind of this like condescending grin forms on his face, and he waves a hand to Ali and, "Oh, I see now why you called me. You didn't have a scout. Now you have one, yes?"
Yeah.
Thariah looks at Ali and then she glares at him. Excuse me, what is this Ibn al-Kalb doing here? This is your friend?
Yeah, this is the one I sent for. This is Nasir. One hell of a scout.
Sure.
He said he needed someone very reliable, and here I am. Don't worry, we always need a good Joro dancer. I'm sure you will do quite nicely.
I take it you guys know each other.
Tell us this, she says, just looking at Nasir.
Don't worry, friend, she is just jealous that I have received a few more jobs that she had, how do we say, applied for.
Ali would smile. That is the nature of the business.
Yes, and business is good for me, of course. And how are you, my friend?
I can't complain. You know, the usual. It's a good life. Sometimes it's a bad life. Right now, it's kind of so-so. Lots of promises being made, and well, we have to wait to see how it comes out. But yes, let me introduce you to everybody, and then we'll talk about business.
Yes. He gives a wink to Thariah just as she continues to glare at him.
She kind of spits at the ground near him.
Obviously, you already know Thariah. She's her and her friend are the newest ones to this crew. I wouldn't want to make her friend mad. He seems like a capable individual. And he'll walk over. This is Pasha. He's the, he'll kind of like do a quote, captain of the ship. This is Hakim. He owns the ship and runs it very well.
He nods.
And he goes, everybody, this is Nassar. We met on Aegon and brought him along in a few missions. I trust him with my life. He's a good scout. And he comes in handy.
As long as your enemies are not downwind from him.
Pasha hears Thariah's comment, looks at Nasir, and he smiles. Welcome to the Crimson Wish, friend of Ali.
Why, thank you. I have heard very good things about all of you, as well as this fine ship that stands behind you. And he kind of points to each one. So, captain, owner,
Yes,
soldier. And he kind of just like looks at Darkskull and then just continues on without saying anything. And a slightly less competent version of me. I got it. Thank you.
Oh, go cara.
Ah, put that kid. But I should say, not only am I a good shot and very sneaky, I am also good on sensors of a ship. If ever the case arises, you need one.
He is very good at seeming more competent than he is.
Ollie would laugh.
I am entertained by such repartee. So please, Nasir, join us, for we will be making a lot of beer by the end of the year.
Yes, hopefully. And kind of look at Pasha. But what brings me to the message I sent. You see, there's a problem with a group around here called the Bilroy Gang. Well, we're gonna...
maybe we should talk about that inside, yes?
And Ali will look around. But I don't think anybody here is associated with them. We're not afraid of them, are we? There's quite a few of them dead already.
I've already met them firsthand. As you see, that body bag coming out the shuttle ramp, they boarded us and shook us all down for beer and belongings before leaving. They are definitely on my shit list.
Oh, they shook you down, did they?
You would have done no better 4 against 1.
She raises an eyebrow. It would appear that the Faceless One has gifted me with the opportunity to best you once and for all.
I look forward to it. Good luck.
Very well. We shall take Hakam's recommendation. Let's go into the ship and plan more. But if the Bilroys are your enemies, Nasir, as they are ours, then we are already aligned, my friend.
Tell me, what do you have planned for these hoodlums?
Very well. So, Bo, what is the outcome of all the ground intel work that I would have done in the week leading up to this? I can make some rolls if you want.
Nope, it's up to you. Role play it for me, and I'll tell you what rolls to make.
Yep.
Can
So,
just disappear at this point?
Yeah, if you guys are going to the ship, shoot say to Nasir. Later, Space Cowboy. If you know where to find me, I'll be with Tam inside the cantina. She just goes inside the cantina.
Nasir makes sure that she knows he'll get that drink later, but more important things at hand at the moment.
cool. So, you want me to retcon the role play with what's the guy who we're playing cards with?
The guy you're playing cards with
Yes.
is named Mr. Edward Time.
Time, yes, Time. So, he would go back to the cantina and talk to Time. Mr. Time, a moment of your time, please.
And he has just cleaned out a throng of poor miners for their last beer they had left. He says, "Come back when there's more. As always, the first 2 rounds are on me. I'll take your money, but I'm not going to take your pride. Pasha Khan, what do I do? What do I owe the pleasure?"
The pleasure is all mine. Do you have time for a quick chat about some recent events that occurred here?
As they say, time always has time. It's in my name.
I will remember that. So you seem connected enough. You would have met enough people at your card table to know stories about the Bilroys and their leader, Dom.
Yeah. I know a lot about that inbred group of sons of bitches. I know they're bastards, and I know they need a dentist very badly. What? You plan on doing something about them? You got a nice smile, Pasha, but I don't know how good you are with a carbine or a pistol.
Ah, but it's a nice smile, Mr. Time. Sometimes I can get others to do my bidding. I don't have to actually carry a carbine, but I can make somebody else carry it for me and shoot it where I want them to shoot it. It's a lot more fun that way. You don't get your hands so messy. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Both you and me, Pasha. We make our living with right here. What's between our ears and what's between our legs. Big brains, big balls, you know what I mean? We take chances. High risk, high reward. I'm guessing you're looking for some intel on Dom Bilroy. Is that right?
You are right, Mr. Time. That's exactly what I'm looking for. You said they need a dentist to visit them? I have several that would like to visit them and give them a proper cleaning, if you handle my drift.
I hear you. The lot of them will be more attractive with all their teeth knocked the fuck out, if you ask me. Now, what do you need to know? I'd be happy to help, but you know, I'm a man of business. I'm here.
Say no more, Mr. Time.
Yeah.
Say no more. Whatever I find, I will share a portion with you.
Huh? Come again? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Khan?
You see, I'm not satisfied with just giving them a cleaning. I would like to... What's the word? Erase them. I believe they have a stronghold in an asteroid close by. I think I have some ideas, some interior decoration ideas to say for a place like that. If you were to help me, whatever we find over there, whatever my cut is, I could give you a small portion of it.
When guys talk about big or small, they often exaggerate. Let's talk real numbers here, Pasha. What do you think? 20%?
20% to point me in the direction and you not lifting a finger. I think that's a little too high, wouldn't you say,
No.
Mr. Time?
No, it's either that or you ask the local miner down at another one of these watering holes if they know where the criminal gang is who's been shaking down their sons and molesting their daughters. So, either you walk around this asteroid, take a tram to all the other little watering holes, or you do business with me. 20%.
But you are being so short-sighted, Mr. Time. Think of it this way. If I clean up the Bilroys, and the Bilroys are no longer a menace, do you not see more miners coming to this beautiful asteroid in which you inhabit? More miners means more gullible people at your table. More gullible people means more card games that you could sway in your direction like you tried to do it with me the last time. And Pasha gives him a wink.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. My secret's gonna be safe with you. Your secret's gonna be safe with me. 15% sounds reasonable. You can roll manipulation.
Okay.
And let's see what's your stat. Reputation is 7. We'll see if you get bonus. It's 4. Yep. You get a +1 to your roll.
Okay.
Just because you look so wealthy and put together and you're extremely eloquent. And Edward Time is a man of some reputation on an asteroid in the belt in a cantina in Tengwar Station that's known for criminals. So he's going to be more likely to listen to you. So +1.
Okay. Awesome. Manipulation 1.
Yep. It's a normal success. So if you want to go lower, he'll go as low. With hard negotiation as low as 5%.
Okay. So let's RP that.
Yep.
So So 10%. No, you said 15, right?
15.
Sorry. 15, okay. You're still not seeing the big picture, Mr. Time. I mean, the really big picture. You see, if all the people that you have seen walk around this asteroid, did anyone or any group of them seem out of place?
No, none of them seemed out of place, but I'll tell you a little something. He kind of leans forward and looks around. The Bilroys, the inbred sons of bitches. Some of them, they fall hard for the sauce, if you know what I mean. They have some intel for you.
Wait. 1 minute. If I'm not... so you're saying that there are Bilroys that are there right now that we could sauce up?
Nope. But he's maybe gambled with one of them before, or like, one of them got too drunk and like told them secrets, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, now I get what it... Yes, that may be so, but I still want to discuss the 15%. What I was getting at is I find it interesting, the people I've met. To me, there seems to be more to this asteroid than just what's on the surface. I have a feeling with the Bilroys gone, this asteroid's going to see a boom.
He kind of kicks back, and he has the equivalent of a cigarette, takes out of his left breast pocket, lights it up. Is that right, Pasha Khan? Regale,
Yes, it is.
tell me more.
I've met scouts, I've met assassins. These kind of people don't just come to backwater stations if there is nothing of important to find. I have a feeling that if I clear the Bilroys, this station is going to see 3 or 4 times more the number of people than you're usually faced with. If I clear the Bilroys, not only can you run your card games, you might be able to get into other ventures. Ventures, say, someone like me, who's associated with the fact of cleaning up the Bilroys, the good graces that I would be with the people around. Maybe I could put in a good word about the entrepreneur Edward Time. So it's more than just giving me the information about the rock. You see, it's a long time friendship that has benefits, but not the benefits that you're thinking about.
I see where you're coming from. And to tell you the truth, I mean, there's only so much beer I can fleece these miners for. To get some more men and women like you, coming in with a nice fancy turban, no grease under the fingernails, nice clothing, well spoken. Well, I think that Edward Time may move up from the card table, maybe into the boardroom, or do you think I'm getting ahead of myself?
Not at all. You see, Mr. Time, with the people like me coming here, it's just going to grow. With this asteroid and whatever it holds is found, they'll want more entertainment than just this little cantina. Think of a gambling saloon, a whorehouse, an arcade station, mining equipment, all run under the name of Time Enterprises. And like as Pasha is talking, he's kind of like raising his hands in the air, just drawing like a big picture.
Oh.
So Mr. Time, I think for a 5% fee of helping me into the Bilroy's stronghold, you could have 100% of a bright future.
And Time kicks back, and there's a deck of cards in his left hand. They're all face down. He deals 3 of them on the table. I forget which icon is the one of like chance. You guys might know.
The gambler.
Is there the gambler? Okay. So he mutters a prayer to the gambler, and like all 3 cards turn up the equivalent of aces. So he says, "The icons are with me, and I am with you, Pasha Khan. 5% it is. 5% of a fortune is more than 20% of a pittance.
Mr. Time, and this time Pasha extends his hand. You have made a friend that is always going to keep you in his mind whenever the next venture comes. And I'm looking for partners all the while.
And that scene fades away. And as the scene fades, he brings the tabula out onto the table, and he brings it up, and like a hologram appears over the table, and it shows the asteroid belt, and it shows like distances between them. Zeta 5G is one of the biggest ones, but then some distance away, there's where he thinks like the Bilroys are hanging out. He tells you that Dom is not a Cretan like the rest of them, and he's somewhat wily, and that he either spends his time on a decked out ship, kind of routing in the asteroid belt, but sometimes it's also on the base, and where he's going to be at any time, he doesn't even know that. And so I'll move you back to the rest of your crew, and so now we're back to present time. Hope that wasn't too much.
So once Pasha is back, and when everybody is inside the mess hall, he gives all this information to everybody at the table, explains everything that Edward Time told him. And he looks to Nasir.
I'm pulling him up. He's huge. Got it. Everybody can see this?
Yes.
Cool.
Pasha looks to Nasir and he says, Nasir, you said you just had a run-in with the Bilroys on your transport ship.
That is correct. The 4 of them. I know each one. I memorized them. They came in, killed the captain, and then they took their ship and went back to something. Looked like a Class 3 vessel if I had to take a wager.
A Class 3 vessel. That is quite possibly where Dom, their leader, could be if he's not at the base. It's a 50-50 chance he's in the vessel or he's in the base.
I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, do you think your ship here can take it, or would it be better to draw him back to his base? Surprise him there.
It would be best if we could cover both at once. That way he does not have time to find himself a safe little hole to hide in.
Thoriah,
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, Thoriah is right. If perhaps her and I could find this asteroid and we could approach it from the outside and maybe find some sort of access, I'm sure we could sneak in, disable the sensors, allow us to come in, take the base, and then bait the trap, bring in this Dom.
Perhaps
Can you both do that? Infiltrate a base like that?
I don't know about both of us, but I could do it.
I definitely could, but she might need some help. I do know there are some exosuits that you can add features to it to make you more hard to detect. A chameleon suit, I believe, or a camouflage unit of some kind.
Pasha turns to Hakam. Hakam, do you think we could modify their comms, encrypted so they can only talk to us and no one else?
That's a question for Bo. It's not in the rules.
There is something in the comms section about secure transmissions, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
There is a feature for like pulse communication. Now I don't know how this would be affected, in game, but Nasir has a level 5 communicator, so I mean it's system-wide communication. So
Same, yeah.
I mean I would imagine he can talk back and forth, and if they did do a reconnoiter of some kind, they'd probably be able to let you know how things are going.
Fair, 'cause
Yeah.
we have several
If there's
of those.
hardware to get that sort of thing, it might be hard to locate on this asteroid, honestly. But with like a data gen role to make some sort of encryption, I'd be down with it.
So we can definitely receive, as long as Hakam is on the ship, we can definitely receive system-wide transmissions and send them. And then if we have some sort of group that is, infiltrating and also has a system-wide comm, I'm sure we can talk both ways that way.
Yeah, as long as the Bilroys don't hear us. You know what I'm
The
getting at?
problem is that the content will be encrypted, but
There's still a
there's
signal
still a
going.
signal
You're
going out.
violating
Yeah.
radio silence.
So you're not doing silent running, as was mentioned in the book.
Unless, of course, and that's what military ships do, you use laser transmission, right? Point to point. Instead of sending out
Yeah,
a
which
wave
we-
signal.
Correct,
have
which
to
we
break
won't be
up.
able to. Okay.
Yeah.
Or we just use code words.
But they still know that.
No,
Yeah,
it's
the
like
thing
it's
is-
like you're not going to be able to sneak up on anybody if you're not radio silent.
Correct.
Right. However, Hakam would say that he's learned in his fleet days that a very reliable way of transmission is using light signals from like a laser pointer or a flashlight. You just have to look in the direction of where your team is, and if you see, nobody else can see the light because it just gets pinged in your direction. Does that make any sense to anyone?
Yes.
Like Morse code, but via light instead of sound.
Yeah. Okay, so Pasha looks to them. Given the fact that he could be on his ship or on the base, if he's on the ship, we can also have an advantage. And Pasha kind of points through one of the, like the windows through the Crimson Wish to the hangar. We have a few ships at our disposal. The cargo ship that Turaya was on. I propose also that we create a Trojan horse. Make it look like a cargo ship laden with illicit material. We have friends at Tengwar Station. They could spread the word, spread the rumors that there's a cargo ship incoming with drugs, alcohol, women, something that the Bilroys will go after. We could have an ambush ready for some of them in the cargo ship, and then the Crimson Wish drops from hiding, taking them by surprise.
Ali kind of sits back. Well, that'd be great, but if he's not on the ship, they could radio him. One of the things we could do is we'll try to knock out comms to it, take the ship, fly to the asteroid, or take the base and let the ship fly to us.
I like this idea, actually. That's pretty smart.
Either way, it's like a Trojan horse, like you said. The ship would land, I don't know if the Class 3 is capable of landing on the asteroid or whatnot, but yeah, Ali would just be like, if we take the base, cut off their communication so they can't communicate an attack, they would not know that we are there. Or take the ship, do the same thing, and land the ship on the base, they won't know we were there either.
There is a jammer, perhaps that we can use to direct at their center of communication during the attack.
Yes. And I would think the base would be the easiest one to attack because a lot could go wrong in a ship-to-ship fight.
So you're telling me it sounds like our options are find a back door, either then or have a honeypot that we can hide in until they tow it back to their asteroid base, or take on their ship and hope that we are more lucky.
Good. I think those are our two options.
Pasha sits there pondering. Yeah, but I do not wish to put the Crimson in harm's way if we can help it.
Well, then we attack the base. We don't attack it with the ship until never. We do it on foot.
Very well, but we shall keep the Crimson Wish close by in case nobody's at the base and then they jump in with their fighter.
Well, hopefully they won't know we're at the base. I suppose there's a way we can take out communications from the ship, maybe. Like I said, there's jammers.
Yeah, there's
Your
commercial
data
jammers.
mean you can target a module. I mean, you can target.
Exactly. There are three things we can do. We can either buy a signal jammer for 1,500, or we can data meme specifically that system on their station. Just gotta roll successfully to just take down that specific system and crit it. Or we have Hakam create a jury-rigged one-time use contraption that for that session will sort of, jam signals.
If it's a
If Paul
sure
allows
thing, I'd be willing to put in money toward a jammer. That's the surest.
If we're pirates, we'll need a jammer anyway at some point.
Right. I mean, it's pretty standard pirate gear.
Yep.
Yes. Well, I mean, speaking out of character, if we want to hold off and get the jammer later, the data meme on the suspecting, target would do that trick, right?
It just means we have to get the ship into long range of the asteroid, which is, fine, probably.
Yeah, as long as they don't pick up on us. Maybe it might be smarter to get the jammer.
Well, there'll be several signal rolls or sensor rolls going back and forth, right, to try and see each other. Until at some point they might succeed and see the ship.
All right. And if they see us before we're able to data meet them, then they'll be able to get word out, so...
Yeah, and the other thing is a signal jammer is it doesn't turn things off, it just scrambles and overfills, so they might also know that something's off.
Generates interference
If we use
across
that.
a specific range of comm frequencies or generally across all bands. Affected comms require a successful tech test to be used despite the jamming. So you can still break through it.
So the cleanest is probably a...
jammer has extreme range.
Yeah, so they won't even know we're coming.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, if you suddenly fill the airwaves with extreme noise, I feel like that gives something away.
Well, they might know what's up, what's causing this interference.
I think
But,
Jamming, right?
but that
step
might
one-
still might be the best.
The other ship, the other ship, yeah, they might pick up a lot of static, but they don't know that's their base getting attacked, right?
True.
Step 1 is finding their base. Step 2 is doing a recon to see what capabilities they have, and then deciding if we either go in with a signal jammer or, I'm assuming asteroid or pirate bases like this have, airlocks, things like that, besides, a hangar of some kind, somewhere you can try and gain access to. But the signal jammer will stop them from telling people that they're under attack, but it'll let them know they're under attack before we attack.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean they're under attack. It just means their comms might be down.
Yeah, all sorts of reasons why
Yeah.
someone spilled coffee on the console.
Especially if Dom's not there, then they're all a bunch of idiots. If he's there, then all the better.
Why do you assume they're idiots? Just because they're Cockney?
Well, we've had several eyewitness accounts so far.
We had some experience with them.
Pasha, you are the captain. You tell us what you want us to do, and we will make it happen.
I think I like the idea of the two of you going in there and doing a reconnaissance. And he hands the data pad that shows the location of the asteroid. But we should keep our options open. I still think we should also spread the rumor that there's a big cargo shipment coming into Tengwar. If nothing else, if that makes their class 3 ship leave the asteroid towards the cargo ship, at least then taking the asteroid would be an easy task.
Ah, yes.
I like it. It will divide their forces as well.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Very well then. I shall go about working with the locals, having the rumors spread. Maybe even use one of these cargo ships and have it anchored in a point in space, and then spread its location also as rumors. And then we shall go to the asteroid, the two of you infiltrate. And, oh, how come you didn't tell them the most important piece of this ship?
Ashanti?
Stealth technology.
Oh, yes, that too.
And at this point, Pasha says, I told you she had surprises. Ashanti is not the only surprise. This ship has stealth technology, which means that we can hide all the way close to that asteroid and then spring any surprises we want to at them.
To be clear, though, in terms of actual rules, I think we just get one less die to get detected. It's not sophisticated like Mass Effect type.
Oh yeah, sure. It's not that, but it is...
It would be cool, but yeah. They still get to roll against us.
Yes, they still get to roll against us, but if we do a bunch of stuff like silent running, reactor shutdown, just drifting at them, you basically build it as like a ship that's... Because you already know where you're going, right? So if you point it in the right direction, shut down the reactor and just coast, and you have your stealth on, the amount of negatives they're going to get is pretty high.
No, that's clear. Yeah, I read up on that. It's just very punitive on firing the ship back up. You roll like a D6 or 2D6, and that's in hours how long it takes to actually activate the ship once it's cold.
Correct. So I would say like we can do that once we know their ship is nowhere close, right? So then it just becomes...
Yeah.
And even for them to infiltrate, it's going to take a little bit of time, so...
Yeah, we could, for example, slingshot our ship while it's dead around the asteroid, just by doing some advanced science before, like astrophysics.
Correct.
Or we could also just send two people off, almost like underwater divers, right? Just the two people in an exosuit towards the asteroid, Mission Impossible style.
Yep. That's what we have the scouts for. And they seem to be keen on outdoing each other.
Yep.
All of
Whoever hits the asteroid first doesn't die.
Our exoshells have 8 hours of oxygen. Land us 3 hours away. We will get what you need. She just needs to keep up.
And remember, that's only a recon. Nobody's going inside. This isn't going to take long. Just got to find entry points.
Agreed.
I have a drone that can also get information from us once we are on the surface.
Yes, that is a good idea. We will maintain radio silence unless we are in desperate need of help. Then I will send a signal for help.
Very well.
What is our signal for pickup? Or will they land? What will happen after we recon?
We should establish a zone to be picked up at, and we will return and wait.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes. I will, he says, I will fashion you a crude booster that will accelerate you off the asteroid in whatever direction you want. And then you could signal us using a laser pointer or communications if needed.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Stealth's much better than I thought.
Yep, not bad.
Wow.
Yeah, because the ship can disappear during combat. An engineer has to make the roll.
An engineer, you say?
Engineer or sensor, data gen, one of the two.
Yeah.
Forget which one. It's in one of the phases.
Sensor operator.
Sensor operator, so data gen.
It's only an asteroid. It should be easy to escape the gravity. Should be as easy for us to pull very close as well.
Yes, I can calculate the correct trajectories beforehand if you'd like. We could slingshot you around and you just observe, or we could have you land.
I prefer to keep my feet on the ground.
Welcome to outer space, Hakan laughs. But yes, I will, once we have our point of origin and the asteroid on sensors, I can make the calculations and land you safely on there.
Very well.
Then I suppose that next we try to get close enough that we know exactly where we are going. Or approximate location of the base.
Yeah, how well do we know at this point?
Where the,
Do we know
where the
the
base
exact
are,
asteroid?
you pretty much where it is, yeah.
So we could just
Okay.
jump in now if we felt like it and start this operation. Or at any point, I'm not saying we should.
No, sure.
But it appears like if, there's no dependency left for us to do this other than... Yeah, actually, I don't know. You don't even need recording equipment because you're coming back.
We have the recon drone. I'm sure it has some sort of you
Yeah.
know, recording capability or something that can be brought up on a tablet or computer and give us a layout or some sort of access. And really, we're just identifying that there is an ability to backdoor them.
But the thing is, you would want to roleplay wise push it out a little because you want that ship away from the base,
Yes.
right? So we'll have to make that make the rumor that there's a cargo ship at XYZ coordinates and
Okay.
have this ship go out there. Because if we jump in now or any time now without the rumor spread, not only we might have the base, we might have that ship sitting there as well.
I think that's true, but we don't have to do that in real time,
Oh
obviously.
yeah, exactly. So we could just like say we push the rumor out and wait X number of days and then do the jump.
Yeah.
And we're prioritizing the asteroid over...
I bet
capturing the
Time would be a good person to get that out to locally.
Oh yeah, for
ship.
sure.
That's true, and he has an incentive.
Correct.
I give
Um,
maybe a +1 for that.
Yeah, I think yeah, for sure. I mean, to me the asteroid seems better because if nothing else, we have their base. Then their ship has nothing to do. Then we just hunt the ship down. But if we get the ship and they get entrenched in the asteroid, we don't want to destroy our base. You know what I mean?
No, it's perfect. We've got the fortress, not them, so...
Worst
Exactly.
case scenario, we set the reactor to overload as we exfil.
No, my
Speaking
base.
of that, I'm assuming we want to take their ship, but we could set the cargo ship that we're putting out there as a Trojan horse to explode remotely.
Do you think we would find enough explosives in a place like this?
It's
place?
a
pretty
mining
pricey.
community.
It's
but
pretty
yeah.
pricey. You probably could, but I don't know if you can afford it.
Let's see. How much would be explosives?
For 1 ton of explosives, if you want to qualify that as a massive explosion, that's 40,000 beer.
Ooh,
Jesus Christ.
Heavy is 10,000. And those are just technically breaching charges, but I'm sure it's comparable.
yeah, maybe that's not going to work.
Yeah, no. So, but we'll just tell them it's there, so that gives us like enough lead time.
Just got to create a honeypot to get them out away from the base, so
Yep.
there are fewer people there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then if in case the ship just jumps in, then the Crimson Wish just attacks, right? And then you guys maybe figure out whatever that the base has to offer, and we just attack them on 2 prongs.
All right, so let's move to a little bit of recon. Just give me a summary of what you tell Time and what you want to do with this shuttle.
Cool.
And,
So
what I'm going to do, Pasha,
Mhm.
is I'm going to do with that +1 we talked about for the role play and using time. I'm going to make one of your manipulation roll. I'm going to make it to myself as a whisper, because it's one of these things like you don't know if it works, right? But it
exactly.
is based on your skill. And I'll take a screenshot of it so you don't think I'm using the
Oh
GM,
yeah, no, you don't have to do that.
It's like I have. When I think it's better for the game, I have live before.
How do we do? I would say I would pray to the icons on this, right? It's a pretty.
Do you have any talents?
Crucial.
Do you have any talents that help you with this?
Let me see what talents I have. No, nothing that can say I have something that I can make somebody obey me, or I can detect someone who's lying, but nothing that would help a rumor per se.
You could prepare the prayer, by the way, to get another +1.
Correct. So exactly. So I would definitely prepare a prayer. So after we finish discussing all of this, once everybody goes back to whatever they were doing on the ship, Pasha would go, to his go back to his coffin, and kind of lie down and look at the ceiling. He has a talisman that he always has around his neck, and it's what do you call it? There's a specific English word for it, but I can't get it. It's a face of a boy, which like the whole thing is made out of silver, shiny silver, and the two eyes are ruby gems. And he would clutch it in his in the palms of his hand, close his eyes, and mutter a small prayer. On a small piece of papyrus, he would write the word, Pasha's pleasure planet, and kind of roll it up and set it on fire, burn it as a request to the icons to grant him this wish.
And if you didn't get it, you would pray to the icons just to make sure you get it.
Yes.
Okay. And that you'll accrue die points. So okay, I've made these rolls. And the one thing I will say is I'm not going to say if you got it or not, but I will say that now I do have a dark point on my favor.
Sweet.
As far as you know, Time took that information and is going to try to lure the big ship away. And tell me what it looks like on the day you guys lift off to go on your recon mission. Here.
Pasha would be on the deck. He would be sitting in his chair. He's chin in his hand. He keeps kind of looking into space. You can see him thinking, and then he's moving his index finger around, and then shakes his head, and clearly he's giving the signs of someone who's plotting and scheming, and thinking of contingencies and counter contingencies and alternatives and stuff like that.
Nasir, his coveralls are off from the waist up, and he's doing a prayer to the icons and touches a tattoo of a laughing hyena on his left pectoral before zipping up and then donning his exo shell, and then going through a couple of almost rituals on his Vulcan carbine to make sure everything is in place. A good luck ritual, getting ready to depart, and keeps his offhanded comments at the Haraya to a minimum as it's approaching the 0 hour, so he becomes a little more serious than normal.
Haraya.
Thoraya has been, cleaning and checking out all of her gear, just making sure there's nothing that's going to, cause a problem at the last minute. When she's confident that she's checked and rechecked everything, she stands up and walks over to Nasir, and she looks at him, kind of doing the same thing she had been, and says, I do not like you, Nasir, but while we are doing this mission, while we are on this planet, she kind of holsters her Vulcan carbine. I will have your back. You have no worries about this.
Nasir kind of pauses as he debates how he's going to answer, and I will be sure you return to this as well. Just be sure not to break that little toy of yours, as he looks down to the recon drone that she's bringing along.
And she kind of has a little sideways smile as she's looking at it. I hope not. This is my only friend. And she kind of pats it on the top of the drone body.
He smiles and, do not worry, that can be replaced. I only can fill so many holes of yours if you get shut up. And he pats the MDOS as he has on his, the exterior of the exo shell.
She kind of narrows her eyes at his words at first, but then gets what he's talking about, and she nods. Let us try to avoid this making of holes.
Indeed.
All right then. I'm ready. Let's go tell Hakam and Pasha and Ali.
May the icons watch over us. And then he goes with Thoraya and lets him know that he's ready for whatever the landing zone is.
Yeah, near the airlock, Hakam's prepared sort of 2 sets of gear for you. It's pretty sparse because, again, you won't need much. But he's prepared what he calls his special lifesavers, which is 2 rolls of duct tape. And he hands both of you one each. And then he has built a small contraption. It appears that he's just used some sort of like an oxygen tank and sort of welded a nozzle onto it that you can sort of on a gimbal, so you can sort of use it to propel yourself in a given direction for a few seconds. And he tells you that it's makeshift, thrusters. He essentially hands it over and says, while not as functional as expensive exosuit, it might still help you course correct or stop or even accelerate away from the asteroid.
And how many uses do we have of this contraption of yours?
He licks his lips as he thinks. He says, I believe exactly as many as you'll need. I don't know, he's a good scientist. Maybe 10 bursts.
Very well then. And you see Nasir kind of touch the left side of his exoshell's chest as he's clearly not as enthused as he might be letting on.
Yeah, and he hands you 2 fairly strong laser pointers. I mean, those aren't that expensive. And says, we'll be on sensors looking for these if you don't correctly come back to where we are.
Yes, and if you hear over the comms...
Last resort, of course, comms are open.
Yes, if it's an emergency, you will hear me over the comms say, it's time to flush this thing.
Yep.
Now, to be clear, did we buy a jammer or did we not?
I have 0 money. I spent all my money.
We're
Okay.
not attacking at this point, right? So
we
wouldn't
don't
be
need it
jamming.
right now.
Okay. Okay.
And then Hakam explains, we should be able to accelerate you towards the asteroid with you holding onto the hull. Point you exactly as the asteroid, and then you just let go while we slow down. Momentum will carry you there.
Thoraya nods, takes her exo helmet and slides it into place, and you hear kind of that hiss of pressurization.
Yeah, he goes through all of like a checklist. Like he checks out all your seals, makes sure all the tubes are connected. He seems very knowledgeable about exosuits somehow.
Over the ship's comms, Pasha would reach out to you boys. Be sure to come back in one piece. Asteroid home bases like these are dime a dozen. Good scouts are hard to find.
Yeah, in other words, don't be getting yourselves killed.
Don't worry.
Eloquently put, my friend Ali.
Don't worry. I only gamble with my life. You have nothing to fear.
Thoraya says we will be back. No worries. The faceless one, he watches over us.
And there's a scene of the Crimson Rish rocketing through space with Thoraya and the Seer in the airlock as you kind of lose sight of Tengwar Station, rocketing towards Bilroy base, for lack of a better term. And it gets eerily quiet and eerily cold, as traveling through space often does. There's a peacefulness about it, but also a very eerie sense about what's going on. Thoraya and Nazir each have their exosuits on, and they're in the airlock, out of visual contact of Ali and Ibrahim's on sensors, Hakam and Pasha, who's up at the bridge as they get closer and closer to their destination. Pasha, what are your orders regarding sensors, lack of sensors, active sensors? What do you want them to do?
I want to be on complete silent running, so definitely set up the sensors to disappear. Passive, I believe we can always do without any.
Yep. Means we're not emitting anything.
Correct. So passive sensors, be ready to disappear so that we don't blow Nasir and Thuraya's cover. And I would tell Ali to be on the guns, in case shit. And I would tell Hakam that be ready for, I believe, evasive maneuvers is what we would eventually do with the pilot in case shit happens.
Since you know the exact location of Bilroy base, you come kind of to within extreme range of it. It comes right on the periphery of the scanners. You can hear Ibrahim says, "We've made contact with the base. There she is. There's an asteroid right at the edge of our scanner range. We're still running silent. You want us to go active sensors or keep them on passive, Captain?"
Passive for now, Ibrahim. But be ready. Be ready to jam them with the data meme in case our people are attacked. Ali, be ready on the guns. Anything comes at us, anything even looks at us wrong, you just light them up.
Captain.
Yep.
Captain, we're being pinged. There's something out there. And let me see if Ibrahim can see them.
Is the stealth stuff on?
We have a like a -1 on our signature always.
Oh, okay.
So that would always affect them trying to detect us. And if we want to go into active stealth, then it becomes an action that the data gen has to do during combat.
Okay.
Right.
Are you rolling the 10 dice? Because that's Pasha's dice, right? Once a game, someone else gets to do it, right?
That's truly praying to the icons.
Should be rolling. This guy should be rolling. His data gen is. Hang on a second. It should be 8. Should be rolling 11d6, but it's not doing it.
Are you rolling it from the ship or are you rolling it from the character?
Yeah, you're stupid. Yeah, I'm dumb.
And do they have their transponders off? Because they would probably have a transponder
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I'm rolling it right now, actually. Sensors.
That'll give us a +2.
Yeah, boom. Oh, yeah. So, Crimson Wish, Ibrahim kind of calls out very quickly. And you guys can see it now. Captain, we got a fighter closing fast. Medium range. They know we're here.
Pasha?
Yeah, thinking. 1 minute.
Okay.
It's kind of tense.
Maybe Hakam will say, I recommend data meming their comms.
You could do that. You could try to stealth away. There's a bunch of stuff you could try.
Yeah, so
Because
is
initiative
Turaya
has
and
not
Nas-
started yet. Just
Have
yet.
we been
Correct.
seen?
Yes,
Is that what you're
you guys
saying?
both
Have
have
not
seen
been
each
seen?
other. You
Okay.
can see. You
Turaya-
actually can see everything. You can see it's a fighter. You can see weapon systems too. It's just a fighter with a. Let's see what it's got there. Autocannon, so it has to get within contact range to shoot you. But it's at medium range, which is only two combat units away. It should be able to get there in 1 turn if you guys enter combat.
Okay. So Turaya and Nasir are already in the airlock, correct? Okay. So yes, as Pasha is thinking, he hears Hakam say, "Engage the data meme." Right, you are Hakam. Ibrahim, go ahead and engage the data meme. Jam the fighter's sensors.
Okay. That would.
In ion cannon range, by the way.
Yep, you are. So that would enter us into combat. So Pasha Khan,
Correct.
all you need to do is make a command roll, and that's going to be your location in the queue, as it were. Command.
2.
You take the highest roll. That actually gives you a 6, and he's going to do. Let's see what they're. One moment. 5, you guys go first.
Okay, so basically, what Pasha would want is to kind of roll the ship in a way that, the fighter would only see the ship as it's closing by and us engage the data meme. But this is kind of like that Star Trek part where from the airlock, Turaya and Nasir just like shoot out. So the ship is basically hiding them. There's no way something like that could even detect 2 people just being shot out towards the base.
Okay. What's going to be your captain's orders? Prepare, evade, retreat, or attack.
Evade.
Evade? Okay. Make your
Yes.
evade roll.
Wait, how do I do the evade roll?
So click on the Crimson Wish.
Okay.
Ship actions. Captain's orders.
Orders. Oh yeah, there we go.
Well, so you get a +2. Basically says it there. A crew gains
+2.
plus 1
okay.
modifier for evasive maneuver, break target lock, sensors.
Cool.
Okay. And for the ship's captain's orders is going to be attack, obviously. And he's going to get 1 to any to advance and gunner rolls. And that moves to the engineer phase. So Hakam, you need to allocate your EPs and do any actions.
So Hakam quickly shouts over, we're not shooting?
Not yet. But I think we can still shoot the data meme, but not the data meme.
Sure.
We can
shoot
shoot.
that.
Yeah.
In that case,
the
I'll
ion
give
cannon. You can shoot
3.
lots of stuff.
You can shoot everything. The evade, all it does is affect the modifiers to his command roll, like what you can do.
No, but from my perspective, I will need to know whether the gunner needs even an energy point this round or not. And if he says we're not shooting, then Ali is not getting a single point of energy because all of it will go to piloting and sensors. That's what I'm asking. That's why I'm role-playing that question.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because by default, the guns don't shoot unless I give them power.
Power, correct. But
Yeah.
I want to see
So that was the answer. I'll roll with it.
Pulse meme. Yeah, no, at this point, just block this guy before he gets anything back,
Yep.
So what
you
I'm
will
going
give
for,
th-
out
3
of
to
context, is
engineering.
that block this guy before we shoot him. If he gets a thing back saying there's a ship, then Turaya and Nasir are just walking into.
Because they
a
just
ship's
got launched out, right? And we're going to do a cutscene with them after the first round.
Correct.
So,
Correct. So I believe to be within the rules and to do it accurately, engineering, you'd have to give 1 EP to open the airlock so that they can be shot out, and then the rest would be
I'm fine with
towards
just role playing
maneuvering.
that part. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
The thing with the data meme is you have to remember it doesn't do anything on the first round. On the first round you have to lock them, and only on the second round do you get to actually have an effect.
Oh, hold on.
This is good because this is like a newbie crew trying to work together. Iron out the
That's
wrinkles.
that's fine. Let's do that. But that's kind of stupid. Fine. Okay, go ahead. Let's just go ahead with that.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, let's
Because
go ahead
that's
with
what
that.
we were previously discussing out of character, like to just blast someone in the first turn, because then they can't do shit at all. So I give 3 to pilots because they need 3, and then the other 2 go to sensors. And then we don't need to overload the reactor at this point, right? Because we don't actually using the meme other than just trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
3 pilot, 2 sensors.
Yep. That's it.
Got it. And the cheap trick is going to cheap trick's going to give 1 to pilot and 2 to the gunner.
Because it's a class 1 ship.
Yep,
Right?
I'll get 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's so next is the sensor. Sensor's turn. All right, and sensors has 2 EPs associated to it. So Pasha, what do you want
Yes.
him to do?
Yeah, so there's 2 stages. So the first stage is to 1 EP to perform the analysis.
Has to get
that requires
has
a
to get
data-
lock on it first.
No, it's not. So there is no lock required at all. So it reads it like this. A data meme attack has 2 stages. The first, the sensor operator analyzes the ship.
Okay.
This counts as an action in space combat, costs 1 EP to
Okay.
perform, just a data gen roll. Modified by the signature of the ship.
Okay. Signature for this guy. He actually went active. Has everything on, so it's going to be 0. So data gen for old Ibrahim, huh?
Plus 1.
Yeah.
Because he got extra energy.
Yep.
But I think you missed the pilot phase, but doesn't matter. We can just swap them.
It wouldn't matter because they're going. Basically, you don't really care. You're not doing anything with pilot, but he's closing in on you, right?
Yeah.
We're doing evasive. maneuvers with the pilot.
Okay, so it would matter. It would matter. So the pilot, which is basically I have Ashanti piloting right now. So she's going to make a pilot check. And how many EP do you give her?
3, exactly enough she needs.
Evade. Nothing.
Well, that's not nice. But it says rolling 0d6 over 6.
Let's see. Should be true. Your pilot is Ashanti. Oh.
And we get the +2 for the evade command.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
True.
so 66.
Alright, let me try again. I fix it. With actions. Pilot. Evade. +2. Still nothing. Oh, just bad roll.
Yep.
Praise icons
Okay.
or no?
No, you can RP this as a AI fault.
Yeah, the AI fault doesn't. She turns you around just to face this guy because you just basically just wasted 2 little fighters, and she just doesn't say anything, but she kind of senses the attitude is like, you can take this one out. The fighter itself, you just hear it just coming in closer and closer as it gets closer to you, and it can go up to contact range.
Wait, okay. Before we do that, we need to do the data meme, right?
Nope, the pilot phase is first.
Ah, okay, yeah, okay, cool. Pilot. Sensor. Okay,
Yep.
now I get it.
So now the data meet phase. So Ibrahim is going to do data gen. And
At +1.
+1. You did evade, so another thing, so boom, success at least.
Good. Now we have
Cool.
sort of a technical readout of the components of the enemy ship. That's sort of what happens
Yeah, so
RP-wise.
Ibrahim
Yep.
is kind of saying, run-of-the-mill fighter, nothing special about it. I think I got this, just give me some time. And sensor phase for the cheap trick, he did not give any EP to that. And so next would be guns.
Attack phase.
Attack phase, yep. So Ali, you are up. And now it is in contact range, so you guys can use everything on it if you like.
All right, so I guess we would be offloading on it, right? So primary weapon attack.
I don't want to disappoint you, but you got 0 energy assigned to weapons.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah, you can't. Wait,
There's
so
no
I just
power on
want
the guns.
Wait, hold on. You said you assigned 2 EPs to sensor?
Yeah.
So that's how many actions? That's 2 actions, right?
It's 1 action at a +1 die.
I see.
Yep. If you had another if you have another character on sensors, you could take 2 actions.
I see. Okay.
Just like if you have 2 gunners, you could fire the auto cannon plus the ion cannon.
So I don't take any modifiers,
Nope.
right? It's gonna be
You
straight
don't get
go.
to shoot.
You don't get to shoot.
Oh,
Correct.
hey then.
Because you have no energy on your weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, this data meme is useless. This is the last time I'm using it.
Well, technically, when we're ambushing, right, we get the analysis off.
I mean, we got the
Very
analysis. Data gen rolled 4. I mean, I don't understand what more analysis you can get. When we detected them, we got a 4. But this looks like you can only do this in combat, which means it takes 2 rounds to even do anything with it, which is useless in space.
You could disable the weapons. You could do a lot of stuff.
It's for against larger
Yeah.
ships, not necessarily fighters.
Yeah.
Fighters you should just blow out of the sky.
Fighters can move. I mean, it's a speed of 4, so it can go not only from medium range, it could go from long range to contact with 1 turn.
I'm not using this in the future. I don't think it works.
Live and learn. Ship actions. So it's going to attack. Let's see.
At a -2.
Yep, added -2 for the evade, right? All right.
Actually, did we manage the evade?
Yes.
You
No,
know,
we
I
did not. We did not.
It's a -2 because he doesn't have sensor lock. That's why.
Correct.
Doesn't have sensor lock, and I do get a +1, so it's going to be a -1. Primary weapon attack. -1. Oops, it
Well, that's
does
one hit.
hit. So, tell me what it looks like on the bridge, Pasha, as this thing kind of strays by you and just lights up.
I think we roll for 5 armor still,
Oh, yep.
because there's a good chance that we negate that.
Let me roll your armor.
How? You roll the armor,
Yep.
right? Okay. cool,
No
wait.
6s. So,
Then we do take a damage.
2 damage.
2?
Yep.
Oh shit, yeah, because 1 success means 2 damage. Got it.
Yeah, so I mean, this looks like basically the data meme didn't work. The two, Nasir and Turaya got pushed out of the airlock. We moved the ship, and then he kind of realizes like the AI is like moving the ship directly in course towards the fighter. Ashanti, what is it that you think you're doing? By which time it's too late, and the fire starts ripping holes through our ship.
Give you the chance to
You
prove
hear
yourself.
the
Captain.
sound. Yeah. You hear the familiar sound that Hakam plays across the intercom. That means air masks on.
Yeah, and Pasha pulls his air mask down.
Same with Hakam. He puts the survival mask on. Because there might be holes soon.
Oh, there are holes already.
Just ripping through it.
Yeah, we got holes.
I mean, technically the decompression is a crit that you have to suffer,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is like, they're slowly shooting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like there's suddenly...
It probably feels like
can't breathe.
like if you were in a tank. If you were in a tank and get hit by small arms
Yeah,
fire.
plink,
yeah,
plonk,
yeah.
plonk.
Probably no less unnerving, I would imagine.
No!
And so we're going to switch out to. The guys in space.
Soraya
Yep.
and Nasir.
So they're in space. Bilroy base was still in extreme range, so we're just going to roleplay a little bit, and you guys are in your suits with just oxygen. You're floating through space towards Bilroy base, and those jets kind of they kick on as you guys just accelerate and start to pick up speed.
Did we see anything that was going
behind
on
you,
with the ship?
there's a fighter swarming your ship, but you have seen no evidence of any Class 3 nearby, and Bilroy base is just getting bigger and bigger.
Okay. Is my sound coming through? Okay.
Yep, it's coming.
Yeah, I think right before they were going to get ejected out the airlock, it was taking them so long, Thariah turned to Nasir and said, I think something is wrong. And then they're ejected into space, and now there's nothing they can do about anything that was going wrong. How long? I guess they just kind of little spurts from the accelerant take them closer and closer to the planet.
As they float through space, Nasir kind of looks behind him to see the fighter swarming over the Crimson Wishes. It quickly becomes a pinprick in the background of space, and he looks back forward and sees the asteroid slowly but inexorably getting bigger as they approach it, and he looks to Thariah and gives a hand motion for her eyes to look at the fighter and then back at the ground as they pick, I would assume, the best place to land to avoid injury.
Yeah, obviously they want to be close enough that it's an easy trek to the base, but not so close that, proximity sensors would immediately pick them up.
And as you just enter into the emptiness of space, this asteroid just gets bigger and bigger, and behind you see just like this flashing lights, and you're just picking up speed. I want both of you guys to give me a survival check, as you have to try to slow down. You get nervous as this thing is getting faster and faster. You have to slow yourselves down before you get this asteroid. Sears not going to take any mental.
I'm sorry, my everything's going really slow, probably because I'm recording. Here we go.
All right, you guys are both pretty cool. And tell me what it looks like as you just slow yourself down and alight on the top of this asteroid, not super far outside of where this base is.
As they approach, Nasir kind of sees the twinkling light of the Bilroy base, and he slowly kind of repositions his body, coming in feet first, and hits the jets a few times before landing a little bit rougher than he had hoped, but safely, and then waits for Thoraya to land.
Yeah, she lands beside him rather casually, not even a stumble. One little final burst from that accelerant to slow the descent. As she does, she looks around, trying to get the lay of the land.
And the asteroid seems to be almost covered with this, not sand, but ashy substance. It doesn't have an atmosphere. It's not as big as Zeta 5G, but it's pretty huge nonetheless. And it still has like a horizon when you look out. But probably a few hundred meters. I don't think this would be the scale, but you can see the lights of Bilroy base, the actual base itself, kind of way, way far in the distance.
Well, these oxygen tanks aren't going to get any fuller, so I suggest we go.
Nasir nods and kind of starts a lumbering gait in almost 0G towards the distant base.
And as you go through this kind of ashy substance, both Thoraya and Nasir are like running in like bounds, like you kind of see the astronauts running on the moon, right? And it gets closer and closer again, and farther in the distance, I don't know what's going on in the space battle, but you can see just like flashing lights up in orbit. I don't know if you have your lasers with you or not, but they're definitely looking down at you. But you sense that everything isn't going as planned, but not probably terribly either. So eventually, you get within probably 50 meters of the base itself. There is a rocky outcropping you can get, kind of put yourself down behind, and let me know what type of recon you want to do in this place.
Well, I'm going to deploy my drone.
Yeah, Nasir will lay in the prone position behind the outcropping, and with the carbine out at the ready, just kind of provide an overwatch as Thoraya deploys the recon drone to just kind of get a layout of the base and what entry points there are besides what I would assume would be some sort of hangar or shielded hangar entry.
Yeah, I'm going to use my icon ability, to adjust a detail of the scene so that we do find an alternate entrance that looks slightly less risky than the main one.
Oh, awesome. Tell me like what looks like through the eyes of your drone as it kind of zooms around, because the first things that it sees is one of those guys kind of come out the very front of this place, and you don't know who the hell he is, but Nasir would notice him. It's one of the guys like that robbed the shuttle. You hear the airlock open up, and this guy steps out. He has an exosuit on. His carbine's kind of slung over his back, and he just kind of, it probably is very beautiful out here, kind of looking up at the stars. Kind of just goes out for a little patrol, a little walk, and tell me what it looks like to the drone. And I am going to give you a back entrance. You can't see it, but during the next session, if you guys do assault this base, I'm going to give you a way in.
Okay, great. Yeah, she's got her eyes mostly on her security tablet looking at the feed from the drone, and she kind of grabs Nasir and points to the image of this Bilroy that's come out the entrance. She instinctively crouches down further behind the cover they're at, and she instructs the drone to lower itself, almost to the roof of this structure so that it's not noticeable. And she looks at Nasir and says, "Do we just wait?"
Patience. Kind of sits and keeps creates a narrow profile as possible, keeping his prone body and the outcropping between him and this Bilroy as he strolls about, the barrel never leaving the sight of Colt. With that said, he just quietly waits and doesn't make much movement, waiting to see what he does, and he just holds a finger like he's shushing Thariah to his helmet just to indicate silence.
Yeah, she quietly starts raising the carbine at her side, up to prop it on the rocks and look through the scope at this fellow as well.
Nasir, give me a stealth check at +1 to recover. So, role play with me as he kind of like walks almost near you. He's got an exosuit, but so he can't take a leap, but he just kind of stops there for a while. Looks up at the stars. Like, walks right next to you guys. And then makes his way back to the base.
There's no way of Nasir knowing if it's one of the individuals that shook him down on the in-flight to asteroid, but the desire to kill them abates as this is solely a recon mission, and he lays motionless and almost tips his head down a little to prevent any glint from light on his visor as he remembers his days back on Algol hunting prey, knowing that a sudden movement is all peripheral vision needs to blow the reconnaissance, and waits for him to slowly go back to the access, the airlock.
Yeah, as he walks in, you just kind of hear the airlock open and close. As he goes back inside. I'll let Thariah and Nasir kind of roleplay what it looks like as you got what you came for, apparently.
Nasir, as he waits for Thariah to recall the drone, he gives her a short nod and a thumbs up, and just kind of remains in the prone until the drone is returned and secured for transit.
Yeah, Thariah lingers in that position on the ground until this Bilroy is all the way inside. And there's something, although you can't read expressions very well through the exosuits, something about her demeanor that seems disappointed. But as the drone returns, she looks at Nasir and points out in the distance where they might get a little bit toward the area where I think maybe they had designated as the pickup area. Is that what we did?
I believe so. We were going to have an LZ for them to come pick us up at.
Yeah, some coordinates.
Thariah, I want to see if you got any other intel. Can you give me an observation?
Sure.
Is that with a bonus from the drone?
You get 2 for the drone.
+2. Very nice. So, yep, that's a success. You also see situated around the base what looks to be an autocannon battery and something that looks like it can put some sort of ordnance into orbit against starships, like longer range. I don't know exactly what, but the base isn't exactly defenseless if your ship would have like come closer to it.
Yeah. As they're gain a little bit of distance, and she's looking over the readings on the security tablet, she says, this base is well secured. There are autocannons, and she describes what she sees, and she says that's all bad news if you're the attacker, but if we manage to take this base, well, all those things work in our favor.
Well done. We will be sure to tell Pasha not to risk his ship, and we will go in through this way.
Yeah, she marks the back entrance in the drone readings, and saves the data. And I guess as they get to the spot, they signal.
In the meantime, however, though, the Crimson Wish is busy.
All right. So we're going to attack.
All right, back to command phase. That's command phase with Pasha. So you're kind of getting like rocked on the bridge, Star Trek style, right? What are you doing?
Yeah. So this time, now that we have the data meme ready and the ship's close by, I'm just going to order the crew to just attack the ship. If the data meme doesn't get it, then the guns will. So, command, ship actions, captain's order, attack, and pray to the icons. No, it's again rolling 0d6.
I don't think you're clicked on the Crimson Wish.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Ships, orders,
Oh.
there we go. So what does my command role do in the beginning?
So basically,
Initiative.
yeah. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Raz?
Isn't it just initiative, the first command roll?
Oh, the first command is just
Yeah,
initiative.
first one. But this attack is like any attack action, like advanced by the pilot and attack by the gunner gets a +3.
Now you find out that I've been paid by the Bilroys,
And
I
you
won't
guys,
give
if
them
you guys
power.
all assault the same target, you guys have a group
You get a
talent,
+2.
which is another +1, right? +2? Can't remember.
Ooh, I don't recall. Is it +1?
+2 if memory serves.
+2, I
If
think.
Yeah,
everybody
+2.
attacks the same target, it's
So you'd be
+2.
like +3 or +5.
+5.
Well, without a target lock, it's a -2, so we'll be at a 3 again.
And so the captain's orders for this this guy is going to be attack as well. So we'll get a +1 to his.
We have 5 energy points, right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you can do 3 for evasive maneuvers, 1 for target lock, and then 1 for the gunner for Ali to blow this living shit out of him.
I was planning something close to that. The one for the sensors should probably not be the target lock, but the data meme to turn off his comms. Because we have the option now to turn off his comms, unless we think that we can actually kill it in one single attack.
I thought the data meme failed last turn.
No, it
Oh.
passed. It's just that you now have to do the second phase.
Okay, yep,
Yeah.
yep, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Now he
ignore
literally
me.
just has
Yeah.
to point at this system,
Then-
turn
And
it
you
off.
guys also,
No, but
these
you
fighters,
still have to roll for it.
you,
That's the
you could
problem.
go
We still
after
have to
their
roll for
EPs.
it.
You could fire a data pulse. Just fry their EPs.
No, we don't have a data pulse. That's the thing. It's a separate cannon.
Don't own that.
No.
The
Yeah.
iron cannon could be used for that, yes. But it wouldn't turn him off immediately in one turn.
Probably not.
And the iron cannon is medium. I think we get a negative because it's in medium. We are in like close now.
Yep, your contact.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the data meme is actually useless. It's completely useless because now we still need to roll again to hit it. even after we have the information.
Yeah, it's not good
which-
against probably fighters.
No, it's
It
not
would
good
run
against anything
off
because think
wall,
about it this way, right? I have to either drop target lock in the next action, or I have to acquire target lock. We will never have enough data gens on the system, so technically we cannot do data memes. That's the thing,
But
because
we-
you need 2 actions for everything it does.
We can in the future, but we can talk about that later. But yes, I mean, technically his weapon is autocannon as a class 1 fighter. That's his only module. You know what I mean? I'm pretty
Right.
sure. So you
Right.
can disable his autocannon so he can't shoot you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If Bo allows it, and our goal was to turn off their communication system, then we could still do
Yeah,
that.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be
Storytelling-wise.
definitely.
So I'll assign 3 to piloting. Do we need to pilot at all? Actually,
Uh,
You're in contact.
no.
I mean, unless you want to do evade.
no.
Base back.
no,
She
no,
can't evade for shit.
yeah.
For 4
Yeah.
with 4 dice. So I guess I'll give 1 to sensors so they can do the data meme, and then the other 4 go to weapons so we can do as much damage as possible.
Correct.
Yeah, let's do that. And I take no action.
Sensors 4 and
Sensors 1, weapons 4.
sensors 1, weapons 4. Okay. I get it. Ali's time to shine.
Skadoosh.
Yeah.
3 plus 2 minus 2. Plus 4?
Pilots are actually gonna be at 0 now, right?
Right, it's 3 attack. Minus 2 lock missing. Plus 2 for talent. Plus 3 for EP. That's my math currently.
All right. So that's the engineer phase, and the fighter is just gonna put all 3 of his into his guns for his engineer phase. And pilot phase, nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sensor phase, Ibrahim. He's going to try to do his data
That's the
meme.
roll. Yep.
So
So he
data
rolls,
gen
what is it, data gen?
Data gen modified by the signature of the enemy ship.
0. And any pluses or minuses? Otherwise, you didn't overload him. did you?
No,
Oh,
There you
no
go.
target.
He's
got it.
jammed.
So
His comms are jammed.
I'll let one of
Yes.
you guys slip. I'll let Pasha. Since Pasha's felt frustrated this session, you can tell me what it looks like as this pilot tries to contact the base but can't. Because Pasha seems upset about his data meme.
Yeah, no, this because like man, it's like we used a module for this, and I'm like, fuck, it's not
It's
working.
not that bad. I think it's good.
I think we can make
It's
it work in
good,
the
man,
future.
because the big ship
Yeah.
battles aren't just like one round. You know.
No, but the thing is, I mean, and we'll talk after. But the thing is, you have to drop lock or acquire lock. So unless we have multiple data gens, anyway, fine, it's okay. I don't know why I'm going down into this. As you know, as Ibrahim says that they have acquired
Comms are jammed.
comms are jammed. Pasha picks up his comms and he's now directly talking into the fighter pilot's comms. Son, it seems you have met your match today. For you have met Pasha Khan and his crew. And while we are about to do something naughty with your base, I don't think you will see the next sunrise by the time this entire engagement is done. I hope you've said your prayers to the icons. I hope you said goodbye to your mommy and daddy. Pretty soon all you will be is specks of dust in the vast inkness of space. Goodbye. And he would look to Ali and just say fire.
Yeah. You would be up next, Ali.
All right. So let's see. Do I click base to fire? Do I click the Crimson Mist to fire, or am I clicking my guy to fire? Is that-
Crimson Wish.
somehow I come up to
Crimson
0
Wish.
last time.
If next time
Alright.
I have more time, I'm actually going to give you you can click in the cockpit to do it, which would be cool. So what do you want to fire? Auto cannon's primary weapon, I think, set up.
Alright. And then as far as modifier goes,
Well, so you get a +2 from the assault talent. You get a +3 from all your energy allocations. So that's what,
okay,
+5?
And then is this the +1 for? Maybe not. All right.
Wait, I think Hakam did the math over there. 3 to attack, -2 lock missing, +2 talent, +3, so it's 6.
6.
Okay, yep, that might,
Yeah, 6.
Oh, no lock, I forgot that.
He's good at math.
Yeah, so +6 is your modifier.
I'll take it.
It's not a 10, but close by.
Oh, it's not very good.
Ah,
In
That's
the
awful.
world.
It's awful.
just
Maybe you
pray.
should I mean,
Praying.
yeah. This is a good opportunity to pray with that many dice.
It's 16.
There we
There you
go.
go.
That's
That's
fine.
much better.
So that's 5?
Yeah,
5 successes?
well, if you put them all into damage, I mean,
They'll
it's
probably
gonna
wreck 'em.
kill him.
Yeah.
Let me
that's-
see
that's
if
what
he
we're gonna
has
do.
I don't
6
know if he has-
damage total?
No, he blocks 0
He takes
points.
6
So
hull damage.
you could fry him. You could destroy him if you want.
Yeah, there's no reason to play around with the crits. He's just gonna.
Crumple him.
Yeah, we're
Maybe
gonna.
should
Capital
cockpit or
ship
something
guns,
Same
Yeah.
autocannon he used.
explosion even larger.
Just a better gunner and more power behind
Tell me
it.
what it looks like.
So as he sees the cheap trick coming through, he gets it to line up right on the cockpit and just unloads, making a pink frozen mist in space. Kind of like a Slurpee.
And this isn't Star Wars. There's no fiery explosion, but just it's not even salvageable. It just like disintegrates in space. And Thoraya and Nasir are down on the planet, and they can see like debris fields spreading out kind of into space. And there's not fire, but there's probably the heat dissipation. So they can see a light just kind of flicker in the darkness, and then probably coming down towards them would be the Crimson Wish.
Seeing that the plan didn't quite go as hoped, and the signal given in the Crimson Wish tearing in, he makes clear the LZ and gets ready to haul ass up there.
Yeah, Thoraya looks to Nasir a little bit worriedly. I hope that that ship was not able to get a signal out to the base. This can still be salvaged.
Well, with luck, with the icons at our side, I do not fear that we were successful.
She mutters a prayer under her breath as well and watches the Crimson Witch descend.
And I'll let you guys kind of roleplay what it looks like as they kind of like jump / rocket off of the asteroid and kind of come back up into the airlock. And like they would probably like walk in from like the back of the bridge, like down here. And I'll let you kind of roleplay that out here.
Yeah, you'd think it's a little weird because space is big and wide and open, but Hakan tells you, or tells, I guess, Ashanti precisely what coordinates to stop and what direction to turn the ship, and then he will sort of make his way to the airlock. As you approach the ship from the outside, floating towards the ship, you'll actually see Hakam hanging outside the airlock with one in his own exosuit, because he owns one. He brought one with, sort of holding his hand out, just waiting to sort of catch you as you fly by, and then pulls you in, closes the airlock and makes sure that both of you don't have bullet holes.
Yeah, as the airlock closes and pressure's restored and
Thoraya releases her helmet with a hiss and looks at Hakam with some concern in her eyes. What happened? We saw another ship.
Just minor damage. We scrambled their comms and then blew them to smithereens. Smithereens! No salvage.
Oh, that is a relief, though.
You have no heart for an engineer.
We could see the explosion from the ground, but
it was a beautiful shot.
If there was no way for them to communicate, then the base will have no... They will have no clue what this was really about.
Well, they will notice their fighter having disappeared.
Yes, but they will not know someone was on the surface.
So you were not seen? And so I guess we just all walk out towards the...
Yeah, Thoraya just looks at Nasir and kind of grins with a satisfied smile.
Nasir had taken off his helmet, a little bit sweaty from the physical exertion along the asteroid, and he looks at Thoraya and kind of gives a nod of approval. And she did her job well. We found a way in, and thankfully we didn't try the front door, as it's more heavily armed than we initially anticipated.
Yes, but we did find a back way in that we think is workable. And if we do take the base, it has defenses against attack from other ships, so we can use that to our advantage. She'll show Hakam, because she figures he would kind of recognize a lot of the
he'll
technical
start taking notes
specifications.
at, like, a computer, right? He'll sort of write down the list.
Oh, she'll send him the files now that they're like local. The readouts from the drone.
Yeah, Nasir kind of gives him a rundown, not really of the technical side that she got from the recon drone, but possible ways to send an infiltration team to disarm the security systems or anything of that nature to allow the Crimson Wish or anything really to get in once that's been achieved. Or if they do not want to do that and send the entire team through the airlock and not risk the Crimson Wish, they can do that too.
Yeah, he sort of starts building out a 3D model of the asteroid with approach vectors, and has both of you explain where you saw the weapon emplacements, what he thinks is maybe a torpedo launcher and the autocannon, so we can figure out what might be a good approach vector. Because they can't shoot 360, it doesn't work that way. There's some angles where the asteroid is in the way for them to shoot whatever approaches.
Pasha, seeing Thoraya and Nasir back, welcomes them with a smile. It seems that your excursion was successful, even though we were detected by a fighter.
Hakam says that it was not able to get any messages out, yes?
Yes. I, in fact, sent it a very... I think I sent a very nice message of goodbye before it left our plane of existence. And Pasha smiles. But no.
This is good. We will pray for their souls. She says this with a wicked smile on her face.
Pasha smiles back. But even though the fighter might not be able to contact its base, the base will know it's missing. So the clock is ticking. I think we have put things in motion that we cannot step away from now.
Yes. Well, that adds a lot of urgency to it.
But this does leave me in a quandary. You would need all the firepower you can get to make the assault on the base, right?
Every weapon would help.
What do we do with the wish? Because I do not wish to leave her out here undefended.
Well, Ashanti can always take care of protecting the ship.
Yes, she can be the pilot out of space and pilot it back, I would think.
Yep.
If we ask her nicely.
Okay then. For I do not want to lose the ship while capturing the base in case Dom Bilroy comes back and is able to detect us.
Well, I would say to fly out of the range, we could always communicate with Ashanti and bring it back.
All right then.
In terms of the book and rules, I think that there's a device, a remote thing that you can use to operate Ashanti remotely.
The remote control goes that far?
I don't know. It may not.
I'm sure your ship is smart enough to hide while we
within the
complete our
extreme
objective
range.
here.
Yeah, it's a control unit for a computer or tabula that allows for remote control of a vehicle within
Good.
extreme range.
The question is, do we got one? Which I don't think we do.
No.
Yeah, so to maybe land a ship on the other side of the asteroid.
I mean, we either that or we could all come the same way you guys came in.
No. From what you said, there's just too much armaments on that asteroid to hurt the ship. No, we shall do the same thing. We'll stay in extreme range and we shall all airlock out. Nasir and Turaya, we've already done it, so we'll just follow your lead. Get on the planet and take out their defenses. Once the defenses are out, we can bring the Crimson Wish in.
And then the defenses will be our defenses.
Yes.
I saw some damage on the ship. Are you telling me she's capable of flying it in?
Oh, she's more than capable. Those are just scratches. But any more, and it wouldn't be safe.
Well, then it's a plan.
I'm good to see you are all safe. We've achieved our mission. It now sounds like we need to return and prepare.
Yes. Ashanti, take us back to Tengwar Station.
It appears, Hakamose, it appears the other ship is not here, though. You don't think they will increase their defenses now that they know their fighter is disappeared?
That is a good point. If we are to do this, we should do this quickly, within the next few hours. Not wait any longer.
Because rules-wise, I'm just asking Bo, right? If the other ship was there, we would have gotten the same rules against that ship as well to detect it. So we've ruled out that the other Class 3 ship is currently here.
It's not there. You would have picked it up with everything else that was going on. Or, it obviously would have hopped in on the fight. Probably could have finished you off, right?
Correct.
Nasir kind
that
of
was a very
taps his chin in
clever
thought.
thing he did, actually, because he could have gone up against both of them guarding the asteroid base.
Well, the other thing is that it works like the Expanse,
Uh-huh.
right? Things don't just jump in like in Star Trek or Star Wars.
It takes travel time.
It takes quite a bit of travel time.
To get here, the roll you made to get from Mira to here is 2.5 days.
Yeah, so hold
They
on
have a
then.
good point. How about no time like the present?
Yes.
That's what I was trying to suggest. Yeah.
Yes. So our out of context wise, pretty much everybody is on the ship, right? All the players are on the ship except for Pera.
So we could make the next session the attack.
Yes. Let's. So when everybody is discussing this, when Nasir says that there's no time like the present. Agreed, Nasir. If that ship doesn't get back, which means the fighter is already out of the picture, the base is unprotected, now would be the time.
The gambler smiles upon those who take risk.
Pasha looks to Turaya and smiles. The gambler does smile upon us, doesn't he, Turaya? So be it. Let's do this.
Well then, might I suggest you get an exo shell and let us get ready, and we will brief you on where to go and how to go.
You guys have
I'll
all
clap
have
my
enough
rifle.
exo shells because remember, like, you just looted a bunch of them, I believe.
Yep,
Yeah.
from the other Bilroy. Yes, so as soon as Nasir says that, Pasha like jumps out of the captain's chair and starts rushing towards his coffin to start like
You
suiting
have
up.
like carbines too, so you could all
Yep.
you could all get those.
Yep.
Space Marines.
Space
And
Marines.
those exosuits give you armor, which is good.
It was very hard not to say, drop your cocks and grab your socks.
Reveille, reveille.
Is that it for this session?
I think so. I think we're all going to go...
Yeah, probably next session I think we'll just debate on what we do with the ship, and then we assault the thing.
Yeah.